it's REA Online. Welcome to the show. I'm REA KOPI. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show that's all about empowering, encouraging, and celebrating the girl child and women in all our facets. Now, in 2016, the conversation of gender-based violence started and came to light when Karabo Mokoena, a South African young lady who was brutally murdered. And a similar situation happened back here at home in Botswana. Movements such as I shall wear what I want, I shall not forget, Me Too, enough is enough, started from then. And those hashtags were designed to just bring about behavioral change upon men. In today's episode, we have decided to bring the men on the show to come and hear what they have to say about these hashtags, these movements. Are they really trash? Let's find out. And to discuss with me today, we have handsome men, young and old maybe. I'll probably get in trouble. Welcome to the show, Lesedi, Chery, and Thato Selelo.
Thank you very much. So much.
Awesome. So guys, we're going to have a very chilled conversation. I'm not attacking you. I just want to hear your point of view, and I'm the girl representing all the millions of girls. Recently, there have been lots of stories coming out with regards to gender-based violence. Mampinsa, Karabo, we can go on and on and on. And now women just have this perception that maybe men are really trash. So I want to hear from you. Are men really trash?
Could you go first? Well, look, it's not as black and white as we might want to make it seem. Perhaps maybe what we need to bear in mind is go back a little back in history. First things first, today's world, we are a broken people. Men, women, and I'm talking about across all colors, creeds, and races. We're just broken people.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, in the context of here, us in Africa, particularly in Southern Africa, my opinion is it started way back when our societies, our family structures were broken up. Okay? If you look at history, you find that we had, men and women in raising families together, like married husband and wife. They're raising a family. The man basically has his own cattle. He's rearing meat for his kids to eat, and then also plants at the fields with the wife. What happens then is the colonizers arrive and they discover raw materials. They want to mine them. They need labor, cheap labor. So what happens is they want these men to leave their homes and go and work in the mines. Now the men are like, no, I don't need to work because I've got my assets that I'm growing and I'm managing.
Yeah.
And then the system then says, okay, fine, you know what? Raise the taxes. That way they can't afford to pay, so they keep having to sell eventually all of their cattle and process that they're getting from eventually they can't even plow because they don't have any cows. So they've lost everything. Now he's forced to provide for his family and still pay tax. What is left to do? Go to the mines. That process means you're leaving boy children to be raised by mothers. Now, as much as women will say, no, I'm a strong woman and I can make a man out of a boy, the reality is, I'm sorry to be blunt, actually I'm not sorry. The fact of the matter is that a woman cannot make a man. She doesn't know how to. Okay? Now, what needs to happen, this is just the way I see it, is a boy child learns how to love a woman, how to understand a woman, how to care and protect for a woman by observing his father. Now, generally speaking, your woman will get mad at you and be loud and scream at you. But what do you do when she's hitting on your chest? Like, the man is calm and collected. He doesn't shout back at her. He doesn't pin her under his knee. He doesn't do none of those things. He takes her in his arms and, until she's quiet and calms down. This is what the boy child learns in terms of how to deal with, challenges in life in relationship terms. The girl child on the flip side is, she learns that in terms of a man, I need a man who's like this. Who handles situations like this. He's a provider, he's a carer, he's a protector. He protects even me from myself. That's what the girl child learns. So you remove the father from that situation, as happened in our history, and what is left with is the mother who, when she's challenged and is having a hard day, she'll shout at the boy. But what happens when your mother shouts at you? You get mad at each other. You might say some hurtful things, but tomorrow morning when you wake up, you don't even need to go back and say, I'm sorry. because the bond between mother and son is, well, he's my kid and, well, that's my mom, and then you move on. In that process, the boy doesn't learn that as a man, you need to find a way to go back and make it right. So you never learn how to make it right because dad wasn't there. So I think effectively for me, I feel that's where maybe we need to start and assess and say, that's where our society is, or our society is broken because of that breaking of the family structure. So until and unless we come back to that middle ground and understand how to fix it, we're basically fighting a losing battle.
Now, I hear what you're saying. But now in the context of a household where I have a partner and I get mad at him, and like you're saying, I beat him up sometimes, or I shout, I scream, then the man responds to me by beating me up. Why is that so? What do you think causes that, if at all you've never done that? Have you done that, Lesedi?
I think what Thato is saying, the answer is not as black and white as it may be. Because our families have broken down, we somehow as men don't see the picture of how to actually deal with our partners or deal with our wives in that term. So we actually then react to whatever is in the emotional or whatever. And we see actually not only culturally, but in this day and age, we see on TV and whatnot how men are treating women, not only on the physical side, but we see like music videos and all that. You can have as many women around you as you want and all those kind of things. So it's not only on that side of things. I think it goes across many aspects.
So here we are, we're broken. This is us, 2018. What then do you think is the solution for such a situation? Because I don't think that the men our age can be helped at this point. Maybe we should be raising our next generation differently. What do you think?
I think there's always hope. There's always hope. I think like what REA Online is doing is not only for the younger generation of women. I think it goes across all aspects or spectrums. Obviously, at certain ages, the need and help would be different as compared to maybe the younger generation. As the younger generation of men come, they need men that are actually demonstrating to them how to treat women, so that when they grow up, they are able to actually handle things much more differently. But now at this age or spectrum of life, we need a kind of totally different care for the men that maybe haven't seen good examples. But I think there's always hope.
You guys are men. I'm pretty sure that you hang out together. And one of your friends or a couple of your friends are not present in their children's lives. Some of them probably even denied being the father of those. What do you say to them, Thato?
But for those who would listen, who take the time to listen, which is very few, because they tend to say, "Oh, dude, that's too intense. That's like, no, we're here to have drinks. Don't be taking it there."
This is so good. We're going to go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. This is REA Online.
Maybe a lot of things are happening, so why do you ask me that kind of a question?
To some extent, I actually agree with the opposite of men being trash.
So I don't think they're very trash.
It depends la gore le tshedisana ya.
Yeah, men are empowered. I don't think men are really trash. I don't think so. It's not yet up there, but it's getting there, because the women empowerment is getting to an extent that they are overshadowing the men themselves. Yeah, I think we are getting there.
Yes, I grew up with my father. Yes, but yes, I was getting support from my father. Even my mother also was supporting, but my father was, and I can say my father, compared to the way my mother was supporting me, my father was up.
I think it affected me positively because I had a main factor in my life. Since I'm a male, you would get the sense. You would tell me what to do in that way. And I've got someone to emulate, someone to look upon.
No, I didn't. It affected my life because I didn't manage to continue with my school. My mom was not working and she didn't have that money to support.
My mom also sokola hela thata. Because now I bata go ntsenya sekolo mme ona sa kgone until ke etsa my form 5.
Welcome back. It's REA Online, and we are speaking to the men, or should I say, the men are speaking out today.
We need to be able to feel comfortable enough to tell a brother, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And you're wrong because of this and that and that and that and that. And if the guy decides that he doesn't want to be your friend anymore or hang around with you because you told him off, dude, I don't think then that's the person you need to be hanging with. You need to find the kind of friends, like minds, which same birds of the same feather, so to speak. Find the kind of people that you can be constructive with, and they can also add value to your life. I've always said that if in my life all it is talking nonsense that has no value to me and drinks and whatever else, then I don't think I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Because if I can't take anything away from that conversation, from that relationship, then why am I wasting your time and you wasting my time?
Men approach beautiful women and thereafter they sleep with them and then they go. Is that how it is for you guys? Do you just go out there and look for a woman and sleep with her and then leave? Is that your intention all the time? Please explain.
Yeah, I'd say, just as a disclaimer, I'm married.
Okay.
To a beautiful wife, and we have one child. Why that happens in our society, like we said, it's not necessarily black and white, but I would say at the core of every human being is a need to be loved.
Yeah.
Men or women. I'd say at the core of ourselves, we need love. But now how we go about getting that is not always good.
Okay.
And isn't always constructive as it would be. But the way things were created, if I may say by God, it was always to be under a family, loving, protective environment. But we go about it our own ways and getting it our own ways, and the result isn't always good. That's what I would say.
Personally, I think that maybe, look, we've needed a reset, long overdue for a reset in so many different things. And at the core of it all is, I've often said before on my show to say, look, granted, there's this women empowerment movement, which said, let's empower the girl child.
Yeah.
But in that process, we did not interrogate the teachings that were being taught. Some of those teachings are, as a woman, Rhea, you don't need me as a man in your life.
Yeah.
Whether I'm there or not doesn't make you, okay? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Even if you have a child, you don't need me to be there for the child because you can still raise a child on your own. That teaching of so-called empowering women was actually doing the exact reverse and further tearing our society apart to a point where Musadi nowadays feels that she can stand up to you. Submission doesn't mean you're my footstool. It means you're my neck, you're my support structure. I bounce off my thoughts and ideas and dreams and aspirations off of my partner.
Yeah.
That process, when the kids also see it, they see that these people are actually equals as much as dad is the head. Now, as the head leading also doesn't mean that, like I said, your wife is the footstool or your children are basically your servants or whatever. Learning that means it makes you now a more holistic person and understanding that actually you need each other in order for you to create wholesome people. But if now you're teaching a girl child that you don't need the man, the way that she grows up learns like, I can stand up to a man and tell him to his face, forgetting that the man's ego also, you see, because as a girl child you didn't learn from mom how she used to stroke her husband's ego to get what she wanted. And
if you say that to me, Thato, it'd be like, me stroke a man's ego for what?
For why? You see, that's another thing. So maybe we need. That's why we're saying we need an emotional cooling. A friend of mine wrote a book called "We Need an Economic Cooling." More than that, I feel we need an emotional cooling. Across board, so that we can sort of reset and go back to the middle ground and say, what are each of our roles individually? I'm supposed to use my upper body strength to protect and provide for my family. I learned that from a father figure.
Yeah.
Now, the woman now also learns from what mom does in conjunction with what dad is doing. Now, her role is to nurture.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I'm justice and I'm stern, whereas the mother is patience and mercy and compassion. The combination of the two unites and creates one thing. But if you separate them, each one of them
try
cannot
be everything.
Or we try. I can't be the nurturer. I can't be the compassionate one. I can't be the patient and more forgiving one. My nature is that I protect. I stand up. I'm the law.
Yeah.
Whereas the forgiveness part is the mother who says, no, daddy, I'm not feeling one out the so let's try and find a way or whatever, you know what I mean? But if we're working with a scenario where you empower the girl child and then you also leave the boy child, now he doesn't know where he fits in the larger scheme of things because he's been told that you're less than. In the process of telling the girl child, you don't need a man, they're trash.
Yeah.
The boy child learns, oh, I'm trash, then I might as well behave as trash. That is why I'm saying we need an emotional cooling.
Gentlemen, it's been quite the conversation. I could keep you here all day because this is some good stuff. It's nice to hear, the men speak. And I feel like, those platforms really are very few. And that's why we decided to bring you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome.
All right, then.
You heard it from the gentlemen. We need a resetting. We need an emotional cooling. Don't go anywhere. It is REA Online. It's REA Online. Welcome back to the show. The men joined me and they have left. They have definitely said they're part of the story. And I thought, you know what? Let me invite a psychologist to come and discuss this a bit further. Welcome, Wame.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we love you here on REA Online. Awesome. Now, the men were here. They spoke. They aired their own opinion and their voices were heard.
Yeah.
And, they did say that, we are really broken. We're a broken nation.
Yeah.
And, my first question is that now that we know that we're broken and that the lack of a father figure in the household, how does that affect a boy child and a girl child differently?
Well, you find that the father plays a different role for a boy child than he does for a girl child. And, with the boy child, it's sort of, okay, you model behavior that you want your boy child to imitate. You teach him that he should provide, he should be respectful to the women in the house or respectful to everybody. He should be a certain way. And for girls, he models the behavior that, the girl child should expect. The girl child should expect to be provided for, should expect to be treated with respect, that kind of thing. And so how then this impacts both the boy child and the girl child is very different for this very reason.
But then the lack of that now, I can only imagine for girls, because then it means that you have daddy issues, right?
Yeah.
And what are those according to you?
Well, I would basically just start by talking about how, safety is a basic need, right alongside, food, shelter, clothing, etc. And, traditionally or normally, our father is responsible for providing that need, be it safety emotionally, be it physically, be it financially. So now there is a problem when there is nobody providing that need for you, and it's your responsibility to then find how to fulfill that need, right?
Yeah.
And so daddy issues, as I would have, is basically just a girl trying to have her safety needs met, be it through means that society deems unacceptable, for example dating older men, or for example being in a serial monogamist, or basically just being overly clingy in a relationship. It's basically, when you look at it from a more psychological standpoint, you find that they're just trying to have their safety needs met.
And then for the boy child?
And for the boy child, you find that they have now sort of a crisis when they have to model the behavior of a man, but they don't know exactly what it is that they should do in order to be a man, because there wasn't anybody there to show them that this is how you deal with this and this is how you deal with that. So you find yourself trying to be a good father, a good boyfriend, a good husband, when there's been nobody to show you what exactly a good husband does, or how exactly a good husband deals with their issues. So you deal you deal with your issues and you sort of try to solve them in a way that you think a good man is supposed to do, or in the way that you think a good a father figure is supposed to behave.
And I guess that's when now you have your, men just beating up women because they don't know what to do, and so they're just going to do that.
Yeah, you think that, as a man, my role is to insert discipline, to insert order, and so, I'm going to deal with you how my mom dealt with me. I'm going to spank you, the way my mom spanked me when I was naughty, or the way she got my uncles to spank me when I was naughty. So you really find that there's really a sort of a disconnect in terms of what we want, with the message we want to give out as men, and how we as men give it out. Well, men, not me.
Definitely. Yeah. Speaking on that, as a single parent, single mom, and I don't have a partner with me, how can I teach my son to be a man? Because, like you're saying, if I'm the mother, I can't really teach my son to be a man.
You can try and teach him, but you can't model the behavior that you want him to replicate. And this is where now the importance of social support comes in. Your brothers, your father, your the men that you would necessarily want your child to not just behave like, but to learn valuable lessons. This is where you have them come in. You don't have the uncles intervene only when he's done something wrong and he needs to be punished. Have him spend time with them, let them teach him what he's supposed to do, how he's supposed to deal with emotions, and that kind of thing.
I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Are boys and girls born differently? Because you find that as women, we are told that we are the nurturers, and then the men are the protectors. And there are a lot of things that are happening with the new trends, the hashtags. Men are killing girls, all of these things, and just women tend to feel like men are just selfish people, men are just trash. And then it's a question of, are you different from me? Are we wired differently?
I would not say we're wired differently. I would say we're socialized differently, because like I said, we teach boys that, you need to be a man, boys don't cry, and it's okay for girls to cry. So they develop, that sort of emotional health in which they can process emotions, right?
Yeah.
And then we sort of shut that out for boys. We don't allow them to process the emotion. And so how do they act out? Behaviorally, you find that there's, violence, substance misuse, that kind of thing is them acting out their emotions that they were taught not to deal with, because boys don't cry.
I would love to continue this conversation. There's just so many questions that I have bubbling under, but you know what? I'll just hold my thoughts, and we'll have this conversation once again.
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
To be a part of this.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's REA Online. The conversations are just getting hotter and hotter and more intriguing. And that's what it's really about. I really hope that as you watch this episode, that you as the young girl watching, you're empowered, you're educated, you're inspired. And as the men who tend to also watch REA Online, that you're also empowered, because it's one thing to empower the women, but if we are empowering only women without the men, we're not really doing our job. It's REA Online. My name is REA KOPI. Thank you for watching.
Alright, I'm about to bust that swagger.